Hey everybody, today we'll do another video, and today we will do another C++ programming. And so let's get started. So right here we just go and open Visual Studio. And hopefully Visual Studio is not giving me a lot of problems today, because it has been giving me problems for the last couple of days, right? So, matter of fact, this is the second time I have recorded this video, because last time when I recorded this video, that's why I didn't upload it, because it was giving me some issues and I didn't want to edit the video too much. So I don't usually edit the videos. So hopefully this time will work. So let's create a new project. Right? Then empty project. And we hit next. C++ is already there. So, and we name this project powers of odd. Actually, power of powers of numbers, whatever, right? Of numbers, right? Because technically it doesn't really matter. How was this name? Create. So basically, now we are here, right? And we go and we got a project, add new item. Then we hit Visual C++ already selected. We select this little thing right here that has the little plus sign. That's the header file, source file. We click add. Okay, so this will create a little template for us where we can write our code. So we do right here, we will do this. Okay, so here, this program will output, right? So the powers, right? So powers of numbers, right? Of whatever numbers, right? Of numbers. This is just basically and square root, right? Right, so basically it will output 3 columns. One will be the powers, right? The other one will be the even square root and the odd square root, right? So, okay, so for this, we will always include, and we will put that, and we'll do another include here. So we'll do another include, and then okay, so inside this include we will put IO as stream, making sure that we don't like misspell this, because it will give us some issues eventually if we do that. And then we have to come all the way up here and trying to figure out where is the problem, and we'll find out that this is going to be up here, right? So the rest of the code should be perfectly, but Visual Studio doesn't tell you exactly sometimes where the problem is. You have to kind of trace it back, right? But anyway, so here we include C, math. Oops, not there. Control C. Okay, so copy right there. Right, so now we do using name space, right? Just name space, name space. And then we put std, and then we do int, right? And it's going to be main, right? This is going to be the function, like running the program, and then we put some bracket right there, right? Then inside this bracket we put a comment, declare variables, object, whatever. And then over here we will need few variables. We will need one that is called the min. Min number, right? And we call this an int, right? And then we call this max number, and also we call this an int, right? So now we have two variables. We need few more. So we need one for the square, right? So we need int. So integer, and we do let's call it power. Right? So let's call it power, right? Then we'll be taking the power of a number, so might as well you call it power, right? So then we will have one that's called, so we have this, and then we have one that's called int, and we call that square. Okay, so even square, square root, right? Usually we have like some type of naming convention like this. Right, so square. Right, so and then we copy that, make some little changes, right? And we, of course, we do a semicolon right there because otherwise, and then we will do this. If I do this, it will say, you know, like some issues with identifiers. identifiers, right? If the variables are like name it the same and want to like assign values of it's and eventually want to declare it with the name and little something else with the little change over here, it will say you cannot match identifier or something like that. I'm wondering why. It's like an ID, right? I am wondering like if this something like this requires an ID, right? And I heard that some people want to get rid of IDs nowadays. Like there's no way that you need an ID to vote, right? Interesting. Very, I find that stuff very interesting. But anyway, so we're doing programming here. So, but anyway, so yeah. So let's say that we have something like this, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variables, right? And then we want to call this, of course, add square root. Then we will say right here, in this case, we will do what is called a cout, right? Cout. And then we do what? We do on a string here, we will say that enter a number greater than 0, right? So we do that and we finish up that with an end line, right? So right now, then we do a cin, right? So we do a cin, and we take one of this, which is going to be the minimum number, and it's going to be greater than 0. Matter of fact, greater or equal to 0 doesn't really matter. Greater or equal to 0, but it will just, loop around, right? I will show you what's going on here. So, okay, so we have this, okay, and then copy and just paste that and just do some changes. Here you go, bam, and enter a larger number, doesn't matter, larger number, right? So in this case, okay, and then of course this one is going to change because this is going to be the maximum value that the user will be entering, right? We're prompting the user. This call prompt the user. We prompt the user to do something, right? So okay, so now that we have this, we are ready to do our loop. So the loop is going to be for, right? And of course, the loop gets a little like that. And of course, get to bracket, right? And then we will come over here and just put this right there, along with that already, because we need that semicolon. So put it right there. And then just put a equal sign and put a 1 in there, right? Then we make some space, right? Then we enter this again, right? And then, so here we put plus plus, make some space here. And then when we make some space, we put another of minimum number there. And the only thing that we make right here, we make the difference of adding a less or equal to sign operator, right? And then Here you go. Take the max number and put it right there. And in this case with a semicolon. And that will be happy. See? The red line went away. That means that it's happy, right? The syntax is fine now. Right. So so we got that, right? So now let's do something, right? So let's do something here. So let's say that we want to calculate, right? We want to calculate. So this is going to happen is right here, we need to do something inside the loop, right? Or if we don't put anything over here, this loop is going to be useless, right? So we take this value, right, that we declare right here, not the value, but the variable, right? And we take that and we paste it over here. And then we make it that to an equal, right? Equal with an equal sign like that. And then we say POW, which is power, is a power function built in C++. And then we take the minimum number, which is this, right? And we just copy that inside that, copy it and paste, and we do a comma. In that comma, as you can see right here, it's saying the double power of double x, double y, right? So in that syntax, so it's going to be in this case, this y right here is representing the power, so I put the power of, which is 2, right? We are squaring those numbers, right? Squaring them, taking the square of every single number. So in this case, what is going to happen is, this is going to be checked, right? It's 1 less or equal to the maximum number. Like let's say that the number is 100. Well, yes, right? And then it will come over here, do this calculation, right? And then it will come over here and do it again, right? And it will say it's power less than, and then we'll calculate this power, right? It will say, okay, so if it's, yes, going to be the power of 1, the square is going to be 1. Then it's going to add another 1. This main number plus means it will be adding 1. Then this is going to be 2. And then it's going to calculate this, and then this is going to say the power of this is going to be what? It's going to be 2 squared, it's going to be 4, and so forth. It will be looping until this number is equal to whatever, this number. Until the minimum is equal, less or equal to the max number, then it will stop the loop. Now, in this case, so before I do anything, I will put zeros in here because sometimes like that, and then like that, right? Okay, so, and over here, I will just test this out to see if this working, at least working, right? So we want just to test it out. And before we add the rest of the stuff. So we say that the powers are, you know what? This is kind of, we squaring numbers though, but just let's call this a square. Yeah, I just call this a square. Just square numbers. Okay, so S square. All right, and then let's put this S square. Right? So here the square are, the square are that, right? Okay, so, and then over here, we will have to put another little thing like that. And we take the square, which is this value, right? So the value that we will get from this, from taking the square of those, we square those numbers. Oops, why? Okay, so just like this, right? And then just get rid of this. I don't know why it's doing that. Right. So okay, so in this case, what I can do right now is just to test it out. Actually put return 0 on the bottom. Hopefully it doesn't give me a problem. Right, so as you can see, it's calculating all the numbers. Taking the power, see? Power of each individual one, making, calculate the power. So we know that that's working, right? But we need to do the next part. So, okay. So I need to do something right here, right? To separate the powers. Take the square root, take it even, and add the square roots, right? So these are the squares that we just talked, right? Squaring every single number. Now, we are going to do something what is called an if statement, if, right? And we are going to what? We're going to put that square right there. And we are going to put a percent sign like this. And then 2, right? And then we're going to add, in this case, equal, which means equal, right? And then we are going to put a bracket in here, and inside the bracket, I am going to put something like this. So I'm going to put that the square root, right? Because I'm going to explain what this does. This is called the modulus, right? Modulus. The modulus, what it does is take the number and check it, right? I mean, I think I can do a quick example, but so okay, never mind. So okay, so we will do a quick example, and I will probably want to explain it. What exactly what it does is basically, let me see if I can apply this in real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and explain real quick. But let me just finish up this. SQRT, and then we are going to put the square in there, right? We are going to put square in there, and we put a semicolon, just like that, right? So what happened here is the following. So what happened here is the following. So it's going to take the square root if this is even. So let me see if I can actually open whiteboard and so here, okay, so here, all right, let me just do this. Okay, so let me just do a little run through real quick. So let's say that we have an int, right? And that integer is equal to well, that integer has a name, right? It's going to be x, right? And that x is equal to what? Maybe 6, right? Okay. So, and then we have another int, it's called y, right? And that y we don't know, right? So that's the one we're looking for, right? So then y is going to be equal to x, right? And it's going to be over 2. Well, x is 6, right? So it's going to be 6 over 2, right? But before we do this, let me just do something here. Okay, so let me just, okay, so the modulus, this is what the modulus does, right? So the modulus operator do x %, 2, right? 2. And then it's going to be equal to 6 %, 2, well, %, right? With what it does is check and see how many times it goes into 6, right? It's got 3 even times. So the remainder here, remainder is equal to 0. Why? Because I don't have no remainder. So this is going to be equal to 0. So that's why we said equal mean equal 0, which means if it's even, then it's going to execute the function. If it's not even, then it's going to, just loop, right? And go to the next. Okay, so now, what if we had something like this, right? So let's say, for example, that x was not, let's say, for example, right here, that x in this case was 5, right? So then y y is equal to what? Then y is equal to 5 modulus, in this case, right? Okay, so x right there, right? X equal to 5 modulus 2. Which means that it's going to be equal to what? How many times does 2 goes into 5? It goes 2 times, right? 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So therefore, right here is going to be 4 remainders 1. See that? Then it's going to be odd. So now we're saying that if it's not even, then it's going to be odd, right? In that case, in our program. So to put this in practice, okay, let's go back to Visual Studio. Okay, and let's say, for example, that on the top here, I want to just do something real quick, right? Just for testing purposes, this is not going to be part of the program. But here, I will put just int int x, right? And we named that whatever, right? We named that check modulus, right? Check modulus, right? Check mod like that, right? Then we actually do that, right? And we can actually add a value, we can enter the prompt the user, we can do a bunch of things. But in this case, we'll just prompt, actually just add a value, right? Add a value, right? So just put a value in there, put number 4. Okay, so now I am going to see out something here, right? So, okay, so here, so here I will see out, okay, so let's do if, right? So let's do if, oops, let's do if, let's do something here. So if mud I'm just testing this so you have an understanding how this works, right? If check modulus, right, equal what? Equal 0, right? So, and then put a % in this, like that. Oops, not like that, like this, right? Then, if this is the case, we can actually say that we can actually see out something, right? I use this for temporary, right? So see out this. And we can say that if that is equal to 0, can change this. If that is equal to 0, right? Right? If that is equal to 0, if this check mod is equal to 0, which is it's going to be, right? Because it's 4, right? Then you are, I can say you are if it is equal to 0, you are pro-life, right? Why not? Okay, just create something, right? Else, okay, else so I don't have to put this here, just this. Right, so else, right? See out what? See out if you are pro abortion, you are pro abortion, if you support, okay, I can say if you support support abortion, you support crime, right? So basically, okay, so if this is not true, which in this case is going to be true, see, you are pro-life, right? Okay, why? Because, yeah, right? Now, else, right? If it's not true, which that means that if I change this number to 5, then he will not execute this and will say you support crime. Because, yeah, so abortion is a crime. Yeah. Crime supporter, who supports abortion, yeah. So, okay, so here you go. Okay, so if you support abortion, you support crime. Okay, so yeah, if you support abortion, you support crime, right? Right? That's something, right? So that's how it works, right? So in this case, if in this case, mod is the modulus is going to be an odd, right? Why? Because it doesn't go evenly, right? So and because it doesn't go evenly, this statement is not true. Then it's going to output this statement, right? So that's how the modulus operator works. So I want to just show you that how that works. Okay, let me get rid of that. Okay, so let's go back to the program here. So we have the first one, right? Then what we can do in this case, we can actually, okay, so just copy and paste that somewhere here. right? So actually, no. What I can do here, okay, so let me do this. Okay, so in this case, I am going to make a space here. That's what I'm trying to do. So make a space. For the meantime, just make a little space here. Right there. Then we do another space, right? And then we do like that. And then we do another. And then we do another. Here we will have to put something, right? And this is going to be what? This is going to be another string, which is going to be what? It's going to be the, okay, so in this case, okay, let me just do this. Let me just put the even root r, oops, even root r, right? So then even root goes in there, right? So that's going to be going right here. Oops, right there. And paste it, right? Now, in this case, let me just break that down because it's getting too big. This line is getting too big. So, put enter right there. Now, what is going to be here is the following. So that's going to give us the even root, right? So now here I'm going to put another if statement. And in this if statement, we will do okay, so we will do something like this, right? So in this if statement, we will do the add square root, right? And the add square root is going to be modulus, right? It's going to be the modulus, the same thing. But in this case, it's going to be, of course, modulus 2. And then this is going to be, actually, no, I don't need this over here. Okay, I need this here. So I need this here. Okay, so here, right? So then I'm missing a teeth here. Okay, but anyways, here I'm going to do, so this is going to be not equal 0, right? Which means add, right? So in this case, it's going to be add, right? Now, if the square root is add, right? Of course, right? It's going to be, we taken the square root of the odd numbers only, right? So in this case, we'll just put, if that is not even, right? Which is what the statement say, if not odd, if it's not odd, then if it's not even, I'm sorry, then we take the square root of the square, right? The number being a square. So in here we put SQRT, right? And then we close those parentheses, and that will be happy, right? Now here I'm going to add another like that. And in between here, I'm going to say that the odd, right? The odd roots are, right? Why is this? Okay, so R, right? So now you get an idea, right? So over here, I'm going to just output the add root, which is going to be this one, right? So let's put it right there, right? So now, if we run this program, okay, so before that, let me just add return 0. So let me just add return 0 here. Let me just add return 0. Oh, you can use system pause. System. System pause. Okay, and then we do return 0. Right, so okay, so enter a number greater than 0, right? Enter a number, right? So go to the bottom, I'm sorry, to the top and see the numbers, right? As you can see here, that it is giving us some numbers, but we have one little issue. For some reason, it's not displaying. It's just displaying the odd numbers, right? And the roots. So I will have to see, I think. Oops, too much. So let me just put this here. So be careful when I copy this. All right, so let me just right. So and 1. Right? So let's see. Go all the way. Okay. So there is, right? So you can see that is outputting the numbers, right? So here the square root is 1, right? And here the square root are, the even root are 2, right? So if that is the case, it's outputting the right square root, right? So the odd number, the odd square root, and the even square root. You can see it right there. So the only thing is getting repeated. Sometimes that happens for some reason. Let me just run that again. Sometimes that fixes the problem. Just comment that. So right, so here, do I get repeated numbers? Yes. Yes, still get repeated numbers. So program is working though. That's a good thing. So program is working. Okay, so I was able to kind of organize the data and making sure that it is displaying the left columns kind of organized, right? So it was copying the data for some reason. So basically, what I did right here is just not a big change, just two variables, add an alt column and even a square, right? So in this case, so basically this is displaying the odd, right? Actually, let me just change this. Just call it like that to kind of be uniform, right? And then down here, all I gotta do is change that to right. So that's what I did because it was not displaying like the data. It was displaying the square root though, but it was hiding either the odd or the even squares, right? So I think that it's better, right? So that's that's the only thing. So let me just run this and see. So enter a number. Greater than 0, enter a number, larger number, whatever. And you can see that the data now it is displaying, right? So as expected, So, and it's not organized. There is a way how to kind of shift this. If these numbers are increasing, to shift it left and right, as you can see right here, this column right here. So the first square is 0. Obviously, 0, right, is an even number, right? So, and then the first odd number is 1, right? And the first even number is 0, even root is 0. And the first odd root is 1. And then the second odd root is 3. And the third odd root is indeed 5, because the square root of 25 is 5, and then and so forth and so forth. So, and what I did right here, and again, Visual Studio have been given like a lot of problems too. So what I did right here, just to fix this. So what I did is I did again, play with this little modulus thing. And I said, if the square is odd, then odd column is equal to the square, right? Which, if you remember from the last section of the video, that the square is this, right? And then the same thing right here, right? So, if the square is even, right, then give me an even column, right? If the square is odd, right? If the square is odd, right, then give it an odd column, which what I did was I declared the variables and make that, if that is even, then even column is equal to a square. And then if it is odd column is equal to a square. And then add those down here. So that's all I did, right? So as you can see, that basically is displaying the data as expected. And please give me a comment below if you had an issue like that the data is getting repeated, and if you have another way to fix it, go ahead and do it, and just leave a comment below. I am open mind. I am open mind, like Paul says, right? So he said, listen to all and retain what is good, right? And obviously, if you teach me something how to do it, it's going to be good, right? I am open mind, right? To learn the good things, right? So, and that include also learning good things, like, for example, engineering related, as long as it doesn't go against what God said in His Word, right? Because again, this is Conservative Engineering Academy. Over here, we actually mentioned the name, like you mentioned Jesus, and we mentioned God, and of course, living a holy life is part of, being a Christian. So every once in a while, those words will pop up, and that's it. Like I told you last time, I am not a full-time YouTuber. I do God, family, and then everything else, right? God, family, and then everything else, right? Because it doesn't make any sense for me to kind of just put everything out first, right? Because if I don't have a life, then life won't make sense, right? Obviously, right? So it will not purpose, right? So God give me life, and then God give me health and family, and then so first God, and then family, and then everything else, right? So that's why whenever I can, if I have some time, I come over here and I do some videos, but I'm not a full-time YouTuber. So you can see right here that the data is being displayed as expected. So it works. nicely, right? And again, remember that Jesus is the one that gave us a little knowledge to understand things, right? Just a little bit, better, little bit at a time, I guess, right? And yeah, so again, just leave a comment below. I am open mind to learn. Right? Yeah, that's the purpose of it. The good things, though, right? Good things, engineering related, and God things, right? Good things, the thing that will produce, will give us life, right? That's why also I am pro-life. Right? It will make sense for me to kind of continue in this learning if I am if I am pro-abortion, right? It will make no sense, I think. Why should like be an engineer and but then at the same time like be pro-abortion, like trying to help society, solving problems, and then but again be in favor of get rid of society, which is those innocents, right? It will make a lot of sense for me, right? I don't know if it makes sense for you, but I am glad we still have freedom of speech on the United States of America, so we can express ourselves like this. Hopefully, they don't take that away from us. Thank you for watching.